Hello, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and please check out my channel for other updates about the world. So the last update about Twist of Fate. Prachi finds out that she is pregnant for Ranbir, and Pallavi tells Siddharth that Rhea and Ranbir are getting married. Then Siddharth tells Prachi, and Siddharth was about to call Ranbir to tell him to not get married to Rhea because Prachi is pregnant for him. But Sushma collected the phone from Siddharth. Let's continue. Siddharth asks Sushma, why did you call the call, and says I was calling Ranbir. Sushma asks, which Ranbir? The one who called Prachi as characterless and broke his relationship with her and even throws her out of the house. She says, do you think that they will be happy to know about the baby? And says Prachi is dead for them. Siddharth says Ranbir deserves to know. Sushma says, do you think that he will be happy? Siddharth says maybe. Sushma says if he doesn't get happy, then what? She says the expectations are the root cause of all the problems, and I have seen her crying all the time. She says everyone has moved on, but Prachi is still waiting for Ranbir. Sushma says now the last hope is gone, and says don't know whom he is marrying. Siddharth says it is with Rhea. Sushma says if he did not get any other girl, and says if he has heart or not. Siddharth says sometimes the baby unite the parent. Sushma says I don't want Ranbir's sympathy, as he will sympathize with her for the baby, and I don't want his sympathy for her. And Sushma says let Ranbir marry Rhea. Prachi comes there and says the marriage will not happen. She says this baby has calmed down my anger. She says mommy must have said this to make Siddharth angry. Siddharth says this marriage is confirmed. Prachi says Ranbir will never marry Rhea. Siddharth says I told you everything. Prachi says I am returning to Delhi and I will not let this marriage happen. Sushma says Pallavi will not let you meet Ranbir or step on their door. Pallavi asks the servant to clean Ranbir's cupboard and the room, and asks the servant to show Prachi's pictures and stuff. The servant sees Prachi's picture and says this girl is lovely. Pallavi threatens to throw her out of the house. The servant says sorry. Pallavi recalls Ranbir leaving the house for Prachi, and then recalls Rhea's words that they were on the bed in the hotel room. Ranbir comes there and asks what is happening. Pallavi says you left us for Prachi. Ranbir says it was my life's biggest mistake and I have apologized already. Pallavi hugs him and asks him not to leave her for anyone. The servant finds Prachi's picture in the cupboard. Pallavi asks her to throw the photo out. The servant goes to throw it. Ranbir gets emotional. Pallavi says I asked her to throw everything related to Prachi and says I don't want you to get even a thought. He says I don't miss her. Ranbir says but you got the room cleaned after she went. Maybe you did not find this picture before. She asks him to learn to be happy and goes. He recalls Prachi's words that everything is perfect in life, etc. Siddharth says Sushma auntie is right. Everyone is against you. He says I told you what Rhea, Ranbir and Pallavi auntie have done with you. Prachi says yes, you told me. Sushma asks if they have done the hotel drama to kick Prachi out of the house and what kind of people are they. Prachi says Siddharth haven't heard Ranbir saying this and takes his side and says he cannot do this with any girl. Prachi says he will be happy hearing my pregnancy. She says let me go. Sushma says they have sent divorce papers and they want to get rid of you, and Ranbir doesn't want to see your face and you feel that he will stop the marriage seeing you. Prachi says yes. Ranbir has 3 dreams. One is our marriage, the second our baby, and the third is a startup. Sushma says his only dream is money. Prachi says Ranbir loves his baby even before it came. She says I don't want to deprive my baby from his father's love. Prachi says I won't let the same thing happen with my baby and says my heart says that Ranbir would accept me. Sushma says I have gone to their house and told them that you don't want to have any relationship with them and asks her to think what her words will be valued. Prachi says my baby's life is more important than your words. Sushma says you are talking like Priyanka and says Pragya is in this condition too. She says I don't want to lose the third daughter and says if you leave from here, then you will lose me forever. She says you have to choose either Ranbir or me. Sushma says if you go from here, then all our relationship will be over. Prachi says you love me. Sushma says love will never end, but relationship would end. She says I will not stop my car even if you meet me accidentally. I will make myself understand, but I will not keep relationship with you. She asks Prachi to decide whom she will choose, her parents' house or her in-laws' house. Prachi says whatever you have done for me will and cannot be done by anyone. She says I have to go to Ranbir for my baby. Sushma asks her to remember that she will never have any relationship with her. Prachi says mother. Sushma calls off her relationship with Prachi and asks her to leave. Prachi says sorry and she leaves Sushma and the hotel room. Prachi leaves from the hotel room after Sushma breaks her relationship with her. Siddharth comes back and asks for Prachi. Sushma asks, who is Prachi? I don't know any Prachi. Ranbir recalls Pallavi getting Prachi's picture thrown out. He gets restless and teary eyes. He remembers the moment spent with Prachi. A flashback is shown. Ranbir keeps his hand on his ears and then looks at his watch. A flashback is shown. Ranbir recalls asking Prachi to come and says Bharat will go. Prachi comes there ready. He says, oh my God, you are looking so good. And he asks, will you marry me? Prachi says, we are already married. Ranbir says, I want to marry you again, and says he did not see her in such nice clothes before. Prachi says she did not get a chance to wear nice clothes before, and says when we will go to my in-laws' house, then we will marry properly. Ranbir says we will plan everything, and we will do all the rituals. Prachi says yes. Ranbir says, will you marry me again? Prachi says yes, in the Kholi's house, and the flashback ends. Prachi recalls Sushma's word asking her never to return to her. She thinks of Ranbir. Ranbir gets a call. Prachi says, I am on call. I am your Prachi. Ranbir says he cannot hear her. Prachi says, don't get married. I am coming to you with your life's biggest happiness. Her phone battery was over. Prachi asks the driver to drive fast and says, I cannot miss this flight. Ranbir thinks how much I am missing her. I am feeling that she has just called me. He thinks, why would she call me? And he recalls seeing her with Siddharth. In the morning, it is Rhea and Ranbir's wedding day. Rhea comes to Ranbir and asks him to wake up. Ranbir wakes up. Rhea asks him to take his wedding dress and says today we are getting married and all the rituals will happen. She says Pallavi wants this room to be decorated as we would have our first night after our marriage. You know what I mean. Ranbir gets up and looks at the door. Rhea asks what happened. Ranbir says she is coming. Rhea asks what is this and asks if he is thinking about her. She says she will not return as just then they see Prachi coming there. Prachi says your Prachi came to you. Ranbir says I knew it. I was waiting for you. Rhea says no, we are marrying. Prachi says sorry for not coming home. She says everything will be fine and says we will give a chance to each other and we will forget the past. She says our love cannot break with the misunderstanding. We will start with a new hope and imagination. Rhea says no and goes to tell Pallavi. Ranbir says I missed you so much. Prachi says you were busy in the work. Ranbir says I cannot forget your memories. Prachi says I love you. Ranbir says I love you too, Prachi. He hugs her. A song plays in the background. Pallavi asks what are you saying? Rhea says they are talking about uniting again. Pallavi says Prachi will not return and today Ranbir and you will unite. She breaks their hug and says I did not see such shameless girl before. She says you do much drama and asks her to leave. She holds her hand to throw her out of the house. Ranbir says no mommy. He wakes up from the sleep and shouted Prachi. It turns out to be Ranbir's imagination. Ranbir gets up and looks at his wedding dress with Rhea's note with it. He reads it and throws it away. A song plays in the background. Ranbir thinks that Siddharth might have told Prachi, but then also Prachi did not call me even once. He thinks if she has moved on really. Sushma also comes back to Delhi. She comes to Abhi and Pragya's room. Sushma says, I am sorry Pragya. I couldn't stop Prachi. She was stubborn to go to Ranbir for her child. She says Prachi is pregnant and that is why she went to Ranbir. She says she doesn't understand me and says I am a human and I cannot see my daughter's life ruining. Sushma says I wanted to undo her and that is why I kept the condition before her, but she chose Ranbir and left. I did not stop her and I let her go. She apologizes to Pragya and cries. Prachi comes out of the airport and asks the taxi driver to take her, but the taxi driver refuses and tells her that the road is bad there. Another taxi driver comes there and asks her to sit, seeing her pleading in front of him. The driver says I will take you at the right time. Prachi thinks and says to herself, wait for me Ranbir, and asks the baby to wait to meet his or her father. Rhea asks her friend Shaina how is she looking. Shaina says nice. She says I am happy and I thought that you loved Siddharth and got married to him. Rhea says such was a situation and says I saw my life's worst phase. I used to be happy until she came into my life. She says I was my dad's dear daughter and everyone used to love me. She says I was popular and a bright student in the college too. But when Prachi came into my life, she started snatching my dad, my family and also snatched my Ranbir from me. Rhea says I am getting everything back and I have snatched everything from Prachi and even Ranbir. She says what is mine, I will get it. Shaina says if that is written in your destiny. Rhea says there is nothing like destiny and says that she changes destiny with her conspiracies. She says your destiny lines are in your hands and I change my destiny. She says I heard that fate is written in your destiny when you were born and says just like Prachi thinks that Ranbir is in her destiny and not in my destiny. But I have changed my destiny and anyone can do that too. Thank you for watching my videos. Please like my videos, share it and please subscribe to my channel for more updates. Thank you.